Hey, what's up, garden friends? Jeff here, Tropical Plant Party. How's everybody doing? I hope you're good. I'm great. And today, spotlighting some beautiful Impatiens. And these are the absolutely stunning Rockapulco double Impatiens from proven winners. This variety that I have here is called Coral Reef. There's its tag right there, poking out. Impatiens are one of my favorite annuals, but they are a perennial in zones 10 and 11. Maybe up, I don't know, but at least zone 10, that's where you need to be to keep these as a perennial. But what I like so much about these is that these are supposed to hold up really, really well to heat and humidity, which most Impatiens do, but sometimes where I live, it'll be dry for like 3 weeks and then it will rain for a couple weeks nonstop, and then I have to deal with rot on some of my plants. More so begonias than Impatiens, but having that factor built into these, plus the absolutely stunning blooms, I thought, let's spotlight these, let's talk about them. Unfortunately, it is actually really hard to capture the beauty of these flowers on camera. They are so vibrant. They're somewhat multi-toned. There's some orange, pink, and some little lighter stripes inside the petals as well. Some of the flowers are more orange than others, some are more pink than others. As they're fading out, you can see like this one's ready to go. These don't need to be deadheaded, really. I mean, it's Impatiens Wateriana. They don't really need to be deadheaded. But let's have a look at their website and look at what's going on with these Rockapulco double Impatiens that makes them so awesome. What's so cool about them other than just the fact that the flowers are absolutely stunning. Alright, so one of the first things that I will note here, they're hardy, like I said, zones 10 through 11, part shade to shade, typical for an Impatien. Spring through summers, they're going to be their blooming time, and 10 to 20 inches tall. Says they like an average soil. Deadheading is not necessary. Removing spent blooms is okay. With Impatiens, I tend to go ahead, if they start to get leggy, I'll cut the top third off to encourage more blooming and branching. It's mostly to encourage more branching, a more bushy, tidy growth. Because it's an Impatien. They're going to bloom just fine on their own, whether or not you cut them or not, as long as they're getting proper care. It says here, each plant forms a symmetrical mound of dark green foliage 10 to 20 inches tall. Then within just a few weeks, an endless profusion of double flowers creates an ever-blooming display of color. And here are the different varieties. They have apple blossom, dark orange, orchid, pink, purple, red, rose, and white. It says we will Rockapulco your world. Fun. I like that they're playful with what they're talking about in there. Let's go ahead and look at some of the other varieties. So here we have the Rockapulco White, which looks like it might have a hint of pink in the center of the flowers. That could just be lighting. It's kind of hard to tell. What I like about white flowers, particularly in the shade, is that they really help illuminate the garden. They help draw your eye. They just brighten things up. And I really like how full the flowers are on these. Okay, and here we have Rockapulco Wisteria. This one, it says it's new this year, or just says new. I assume they mean this year. Look at how cool those flowers are. Those are awesome. I'm going to be keeping my eyes out for those. That really pretty purple mixed in with the white and the creaminess of the flowers. Gorgeous. I love these. Okay. And next up, Rockapulco Red. Really, really pretty. Red is always good to have in the garden. Helps draw in your hummingbirds and pollinators. That would be so nice, and like a little hedge would be really sweet. Like, kind of like miniature roses, but without the hassle and headache of miniature roses. Apple blossom. This one is stunning. I have seen this one in person. I remember it last year at the nurseries, and I didn't get it, and I was kind of kicking myself over it. Because the flowers, the pink and white in that apple blossom flower, there's just a daintiness about it that ended up having a really clean look with the planters that I saw them in. Alright, and here we have Rockapulco Rose. This is a nice kind of happy bubblegum pink. Looks like there's some white in there. Again, beautiful. And then lastly, dark orange. Dark orange, gorgeous. Very vibrant, very loud. Beautiful flowers. But I will still say my absolute favorite has to be the Coral Reef. See, and the reason for that is that the Coral Reef is just so vibrant. I feel like you kind of get the best of both worlds with these flowers. It doesn't matter what my favorite is. I'm just spotlighting these because I love them. And for me, I obviously just grow these as an annual because I am in zone 6A, 6B, right on the border there. And that's what's so awesome about Impatiens. You plant them and just a few weeks later, they take off, very low maintenance, and go crazy. I put my Impatiens in morning sun, no more than a few hours. And if you live further south, then filtered morning sun is still going to be better. While draining rich soil, I plant them up usually with some Osmocote in the soil, help give them some nutrients, help them take off a little bit faster. Yeah, the double Impatiens though tend to be a little bit more pricey. They're not something I can usually find in a 6-pack, so these will be in like hanging baskets, someplace where they're more of a statement plant than a filler. And you can see here, look at all the buds on these. This is going to be a very prolific, vigorous annual, which are my favorite types of annuals. They're so bright and cheery, they just make me so happy. Whereas the Rockapulcos I planted last year, they were no fuss. I did go ahead and give them a slight trim just to encourage them to be a little bit more bushy, but nothing like I've had to do with my other double Impatiens in the past. They just did their thing. I didn't have to do much with them, which is awesome. So there it is, proven winners, Rockapulco double Impatiens. These are the coral reef. That's all that this really is. This isn't a paid video, it's not sponsored, nothing like that. Just talking about some plants I really like. And in the next coming weeks, I will be doing a video talking about the different types of Impatiens, care of them. Impatiens are usually fairly fuss-free, depending on where you live. But for people who are new to gardening, sometimes going over the basics is helpful. So that'll be coming up shortly, where I'll be covering the different forms of Impatiens. Try and get all the common ones in the mix. But don't forget to leave a thumbs up. It helps the videos a lot, and I really appreciate every single one of them. Subscribe as well. Upload multiple times a week. I'll put my social media stuff down in the roots of the video, down there in the description. You can follow me. I'll follow you back. We can look at each other's plant pictures and have fun nerdy plant time together. All right, everybody. As always, I hope y'all are doing well and keep on growing. Bye-bye.